This is WTAJ News This Morning.
We begin this half hour with overnight news for you out of Centre County. Police bust a suspected drug dealer after a traffic stop. Shortly before 2:30 yesterday afternoon, police pulled over 32-year-old Darren Lorenzo for a traffic stop on Interstate 80 in Snowshoe Township, Centre County. During that stop, police say they noticed several indications of drug activity inside of Lorenzo's car. And after Lorenzo refused consent for police to search the car, a search warrant was obtained. Police then found 60 pounds of marijuana inside the car and they arrested Lorenzo. He's now facing charges of possession with the intent to distribute, possession of marijuana, and the possession of paraphernalia. He remains in the Centre County Jail in lieu of $500,000 straight bail. State police search for suspects after 2 Indiana County businesses are broken into. And gun law legislation continues in Harrisburg. We have these stories and much more all coming up here today. But first, let's head over to meteorologist Brian Schrader for a look at weather first. Good morning, Brian. Welcome back, 6:55. Here are some of your top stories of the morning. A man remains behind bars for his role in a pizza shop burglary, while police continue to search for a second suspect. This all happened sometime late Monday night into yesterday morning at Fox's Pizza in Wilmore, Cambria County. State police say someone reported glass breaking at the business and then people were inside with flashlights. When the police arrived, they found 2 people inside wearing ski masks who then took off. Police nabbed 20-year-old Damian Macran of Vittendale. He's currently being held in the Cambria County Prison. A Claysburg man will spend 3 to 6 more years in state prison on top of his current sentence. Ronald Feathers was sentenced already for robberies committed in Blair and Cambria County. For that, he's serving 6 to 14 years. Jury selection is now underway for a Centre County murder trial. Andrew Rogers is accused of killing Penn State student Young Chow Park back in February of 2006. His trial is scheduled to begin next Monday. Rogers maintains that he killed him in self-defense and that there was a third person present during the incident. Prosecutors deny the existence of that third person, who they say is a man known as Sweet. The Blair County Prison has gotten some high marks from the state. Prison personnel were honored today after the prison passed a recent inspection with flying colors. 10 News reporter Kevin Flanagan was on hand when the inspection results were announced. He joins us now live in the newsroom with the latest on this story. Kevin. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to 10 News This Morning on this Monday. I'm Amy Markle. Patrick Shore has the day off. Right now it is 6:30, 39 degrees in Altoona, 48 in Du Bois. And here's a look at some of the stories that we're following for you on this Monday morning, April 2nd, 2007. Charges are being filed today in a robbery. And the cost of an illegal immigration case is being revealed. These stories and much more all coming up here on 10 News This Morning. But before we get to the news of the day, let's head over to meteorologist Brian Schrader, who has a look at weather first. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Amy.
3 brothers are being charged for a robbery of a pharmacy. David and Dennis Popish of Beaverdale and Sean Popish of Evansburg were arrested for an armed robbery at Charbon's Pharmacy on March 31st. All 3 men were arraigned and then taken to the Cambria County Prison in lieu of $50,000 bond. Dennis and Sean Popish also face outstanding warrants. Most of the drugs stolen and the truck used in the crime were found at the home of David and Dennis Popish.
Good morning, 5:09.
The least you could do if you're going to take a few vacation days to somewhere warm is bring us back warm weather. Instead, we get snow.
It was 70 degrees when I landed in Pittsburgh last night. So it was not bad.
While new cell phone technology is great, it's not always foolproof. And dispatchers say if you have just a little bit of information, you too can help cut down on those seconds and minutes that are critical in an emergency. Now take a look at this. These are just some. These are the flyers that came out yesterday and the day before to get ready for Black Friday. It's kind of like the game plan for these shopping warriors that are out this morning. And it's been said there's 2 ways to deal with Black Friday. Either brave it or avoid it. Well, these folks are braving it this morning. They're out here, they're enjoying it.
First up, 9 miners again trapped underground, the water rising, we are told, in a collapsed coal mine near Somerset in southwestern Pennsylvania. Amy Markov, our affiliate WTAJ, on the scene last night and again this morning, brings us up to date now. Amy?
That's right, Bill. Tragedy has once again hit here in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. 9 men are still trapped at this hour in a mine that has flooded. Now, it happened about between 10 and 10:30 last night. They're working in a relatively new mine. These are 18 men, 2 groups of 9, and they actually drilled a hole into an old cave or an old mine that was actually filled with water. And that's when it started to flood the current mine they were working in. It's called the Q Creek Mine, located in Lincoln Township, Somerset County. Now, the first group of men were able to warn the other 9 men that floodwaters were rushing in. Those 9 men were able to get out, and I was just told by a DEP spokesperson, on their way out of the mine, they were up to water at neck height as they were getting out. They had to run about 1.5 miles to get out of the mine. Now, the 9 men are still trapped. It's about 335 to 400 feet under the ground is the size of this mine. They've only been mining it for about a year. Now, the DEP spokesperson I just spoke with said it's a glimmer of good news at this point. They're hearing some tapping down in the mine right now. So they're getting in bigger rigs so that they can drill a bigger hole and get down into these men as soon as possible. But that's the first report we've heard of being able to hear anything from the mine itself. And that just came in a few minutes ago, that they actually are hearing some tapping and that they're trying to bring in a bigger rig to get down to these men as soon as possible. But she says it's a race against time because the bigger hole they make, the more water rushes in. And water is still rushing in at this time. And so that is the race against time.
Time
Bill?
is of the absolute essence. Amy, one of the shocking things about this story is just how cramped the quarters are down there. Do you have a better description other than 40 inches in height in which these men might be operating and possibly trying to hang on to their lives right now?
The spokesperson for Black Wolf Mining told us early this morning that it's about 12 foot wide by about 40 inches high. He said it could be higher in places depending on how high the coal is actually inside the mine. So it's very tight quarters, 12 foot by 40 inches. Yeah. And so they're in a small space trying to get out.
So tight. Amy Markle, again, WTAJ, working the story for us in Pennsylvania today.
That's right. We're here at Giant Eagle for the 17th annual Grocers Fight Cancer Day. Now, keep in mind when you come into the stores today, it's not going to be your ordinary trip to the grocery store. It's going to be like a big fun-filled party. Here in Altoona, when you first walk in, there's folks and volunteers from the American Cancer Society selling raffles to different prizes that are given away. But don't worry, even if you don't buy a raffle ticket, all of the goodies on your grocery list will help give money back to the American Cancer Society.
Today's training session wasn't just hands-on and learning about equipment. It was also full-body contact, learning how to operate with 75 pounds of extra gear while going into a burning building.
Would you allow a complete stranger to come into your home and then spend a few hours unsupervised with children? Sounds like a ridiculous question, doesn't it? But in reality, it's happening in thousands of homes every day.